Today, sunny, fires all over the state of California. For once, we're not involved. No smoke or very little here in California. San Francisco, Bay Area. So much going on around the planet Earth right now. So many leaders are in trouble with their following. No different here in the U.S. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's talk about what's going on in the Arctic, which is just tragic. 396 all-time temperature records broken in the northern hemisphere this year. Well, of course, that's a record. The U.S. had 30 plus all-time records alone. 1/3 of all the all-time records were in Germany, and that's contributing to global climate change up in the Arctic, where we're seeing extremely warm temperatures all summer, barely freezing in the North Pole and Greenland. So a study from a Russian science group in a ship was in the Arctic Ocean above the Siberian plain, and they found a 50 square foot area boiling with methane bubbles coming up from the sea floor. They said this wasn't uncommon in other places either, but here they said it was just boiling. And a new research group has discovered that the permafrost is collapsing in the Arctic all over the place, releasing nitrous oxide, methane, and CO2. How much is locked up in the permafrost? How about 1,600 billion tons of these particular gases? That doubles the amount that's in the atmosphere at present. So I know that people are desperate to do something, and there are people doing things. Many groups are getting arrested around the planet right now, rebelling against the do-nothing congresses around the world of climate change. It's time to do something, and do it now. We either do it now or we die now. It's one or the other. Why do these politicians get to make up who dies and who doesn't die? By doing nothing means that you're condemning thousands or millions to death soon from storms, flooding, high sea level rise, freak airline accidents from sheer winds. You name it, it's all coming. A lot of doomers think that we're going to die all at just like this, just one smack. In reality, everyone will die slowly and either dying. I mean, let's look at this scenario. If we do nothing, we're going to have to fight for our food. That means every time you get hungry, you have to go out and fight for your food. That means you probably have to kill somebody or steal their food, knock them out, whatever. That's what's coming. It's not this pleasant little, and we're gone. We're not gone in a snap of a finger. This will take months or years to happen. You'll have to fight for your food until there is no more food, and you guys are exhausted from fighting, and there isn't anything more to do. There's no fresh water. You've got damn near 50 nuclear power plants all going ballistic at one time. Not a pretty scenario if we don't do something. The only way we can do that is by voting for real candidates. And I mean I mean real candidates. I don't mean these things that we see now, these corporate candidates. Down in the description area, you'll see a Democracy Now! With a timestamp on it. Click that timestamp to see what real democracy looks like.
Black trans women are dying. Our lives matter. I'm an extraordinary black trans woman, and I deserve to be here. My black trans woman has taken the mic tonight. That one black trans man has taken the black.
The corporates were holding some kind of rally for GLBTQ folks, and they thought they would just do it, the corporate style, barely touch on anything. So a trans woman came in and straightened them out. I love to see it. I don't like to see people damaging things to get their point across, or blocking freeways and that type of thing, bringing misery onto others and expecting them to come onto your side. I don't believe that's going to happen. I think you have to be kind, nice, and go for the money. Forget going for the protests and all. All you're going to do is throw everybody in jail, and you'll get nothing done as always. But if you go as a group and take the money away, buy less gasoline, stay away from the corporate box stores, make your footprint as small as possible, because if we don't, we're going to lose everything in the Arctic. As such, which is happening at this moment in the Bering Sea, we see the puffin population crashing because they're starving to death because of the increased temperatures and the fish all disappearing. If you really think that humans can continue to live without other animals around and microbes and all that to keep the food web going, you're crazy. It's just nuts that we keep putting in the same corporate candidates, and we keep calling them genius and all this crap, when really they're just the opposite. But they are good at duping the sheep, aren't they? The dupeness factor. But you know something? I don't think anything's going to be done. I see nothing being done but a few protests here and there. I appreciate all the protests, but I still think you have to go after the money. Drive less. Don't buy one-time use plastic. When you buy something, buy quality and buy it hardly ever. And it's so easy if you just change your food habits. Stop eating meat, become a vegetarian, grow your own food. So many things we can do, but getting rid of these corporate candidates has to be first on our minds. If we don't do that, if we just keep the same ones in and keep thinking that these new ones are something different than the old ones, one or two of them are different, but most of them are corporate. So, on a very pleasant 75 degrees, light winds, no smoke here in San Francisco, I appreciate all of the ups, the downs, and the comments. And until next time.